What's up, everybody? We're back with some more Etheria Restart. Now, we're going to be getting into a character overview of the Wild Rampage Ren. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite Animuses within the game, just design-wise, but nonetheless, she's not only bringing some pretty awesome debuffs, but she's bringing some pretty good buffs as well. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into what her kit is bringing to the table, starting out with the skill 1, the Azor Expedition. So Ren smashes a single enemy with her gourd, dealing 2 hits of 80% damage with an additional damage equivalent to 40% of her defense. Each hit has a 25% chance to inflict a turn of taunted, and this is just simply just making it to where, again, it's showing that she's supposed to be a basically tank support, and so she wants her targets to be basically hitting her, right? Now, of course, with that, she's also going to have the Source Guard, which is going to help her out with some of this tanking, where Ren kicks her gourd, releasing an anima aroma to protect all allies, applying a 2-turn defense up and a shield equal to 270% defense to all allies. So this is further increasing and really emphasizing the fact that she needs to have defense. This is ultimately going to be her lifeline and what ultimately makes her work as a character. Now, when we're looking at her AoE, which is the Wrathful Daruma, Ren leaps, enlarging her gourd with anima to smash all enemies, dealing 160% damage with additional damage equivalent to 75% defense. There is a 75% chance to inflict a turn of taunted and 2 turns of attack break. Now, the reason why this is such a great pairing with a taunt and an attack break is because she knows she's going to be aggroing characters into her, so she doesn't want them hitting her at full damage, right? So having an attack break at 40% is going to be pretty huge, and because they're also only able to cast their skill 1s, that's also a higher probability that she's not going to really be getting hit with the full bruntness of a character's kit in the first place. So she also offers a lot of value in terms of just being able to secure and control fights for your entire party to be able to do what they do best. Now, of course, getting into our module recommendations, I would definitely say in the early game, some of the ones you'll be looking at would be things like Unbreakable. Unbreakable is going to be the easiest go-to for a character like Ren because it's going to be giving her on a 12 matrix bonus a defense increase of 45%. Now, from here, you can also definitely take advantage of ones like, for example, the Wellspring set. This is something that works hand in hand typically with defense, which is more HP. So on a 12 matrix bonus, she'll be getting 45% HP. And then when we're looking at some of the other set values that she can go for or aim for later on, it'll definitely be things like the Bramble set, where the Bramble set's basically going to be giving a defense increase of 10%, and Animus has a 25% chance to counterattack with a basic attack when hit. You also can take advantage of things like Bloodbath. So on a 12 matrix bonus, your effect res will be increased by 18%, and when taking cumulative damage greater than 20% of max HP in a turn, the excess damage is further reduced by 60%. And then, of course, when you get into the super end game, you'll have the Colossus Guard, which is going to give you a defense increase of 25% and effect res increase of 20%. Now, of course, when we're looking at some of the main stats and substats that you would want to focus on a character like this, I would definitely say defense bonus, effect accuracy, and HP bonus, but you can kind of mix this up according to what you might want to emphasize a little bit more, whether you want some more scaling, going for more defense bonus, but this also is something that could be aimed for in your substats as well. So just on the topic of substats, you definitely want to focus on things like HP, defense, effect accuracy, and even effect res, just so that you can make sure that she's not taking on a whole bunch of negative effects and she's able to be as potent as possible and basically controlling as much of the fight as she possibly can. Now, as far as skill prioritization, starting out with the skill 2, in the first node, you're going to have an increase to your shield to 210% of defense. The second node is going to increase it to 240% of your defense. The third takes it up to 270%. And the final one will reduce the skill cooldown by 1 turn. Then going into the skill 3, it's actually in the first node, increasing the rate of additional damage dealt based on own defense to 75%. The next one will increase the chance of inflicting a taunted and an attack break to 75%. Then the next one increases the duration of attack break to 2 turns. And then lastly, with the final node, it will reduce the skill cooldown by 1 turn. And then, of course, with the skill 1 being our last choice here, the first node is going to increase the rate of additional damage dealt based on own defense to 35%. The next one increases the chance of inflicting taunted to 15%. Then the one after that increases the rate of additional damage based on own defense to 40%. And then lastly, with the final node, it will increase the chances of inflicting taunted to 25%. Now, as far as shell recommendations, starting out in Shadowrunner, you're going to have the Unbridled Science, Diamond Heart, Shun Haijing, Artisan, Halloween, Lighthouse. Now, of course, getting into our infamous pros and cons, I think starting out with the pros, one of the biggest things is the defensive layering that Ren is bringing to the table. Not only are you getting the defense up, but you're also getting the shield, which is going to be astronomical, especially because it then still scales off her defense. The nice thing about this too is that this actually opens up the door for you to build her differently. For some, they might actually want to get a little bit more damage out of Ren. So they might still go for things like crit rate and crit damage, and the only main source of her scaling is going to be her defense, which is, again, pretty huge because everything else in her kit still scales off of her defense, so you're not missing anything. I think the other thing is too is that they made sure that she had a taunt in both her A1 and her A3. So even if this is on cooldown or you run into a scenario where, hey, there's no longer a taunt, she can always hyper-focus a character that needs to be taunted the most so that she can continue to control the biggest threat on the field. So this is definitely something that can make her quite lucrative when you're trying to basically configure what kind of composition you want to put together. Now, of course, with that, I think some of the biggest cons that she has, and really the only con, is that there's just some content where certain things cannot be taunted. So at that point, it literally kind of mitigates the effect of her skill 1 and her skill 3, which I would say at that point would then be more of a further emphasis to maybe go for more of a damage build so that you can actually make her more useful in those scenarios and settings. But overall, that's not big enough of an effect for me to really say that this is a bad unit. I still feel like she's an excellent champ, and she's really going to be doing and adding a lot of value to anyone that's able to get her. So with all of that being said, that's basically going to be that on the Wild Rampage Ren. I hope that this was able to give you a better idea on not only how this Animus works, but maybe how you can incorporate her in your composition. But that's basically going to be that with this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Etheria Restart content. But that's basically going to be that with this one. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.